What's up, guys? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. This week has been full of many exciting events, and for that reason, there has been a lot to talk about. Now, today we'll be looking what's happening to XRP in the XRP community. With that said, let's roll that intro and get started with today's video. As always, welcome back to Moneyside, your favorite crypto news channel. If you are new here, welcome to the XRP fam. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our daily crypto news updates. Now, getting back to today's topic, we will rev those engines with this tweet by the XRP bully that says they are mad that we found out about XRP early. Now they want to punish us for doing our research early. The battle was never about clarity. The battle is against investors that are about to inherit massive amounts of wealth. Stay strong, family. Now this right here and a few more tweets that we discussed today, you will need to keep at the back of your mind. Many people may not have noticed this yet, but what they are doing here is that they're trying to price people out of the market and push them to the wall so that they can sell their XRP. Next, we have this tweet by the Bearable Bull that says the SEC really sued Ripple before SafeMoon. It's never really been about investor protection. XRP is our future. Replied to this tweet saying, "Bull, it's all a stage show. The world is the puppet, one big game." We have yet another tweet I need you to pay close attention to from Connie Akokito that says, "Show this beautiful picture of XRP. From this picture, you can see that XRP is only regarded as a security in the United States, but hundreds of them regard XRP as a currency, digital asset, in all these other countries. This is how we know that something very fishy is cooking about this Ripple versus SEC lawsuit." Now from Crypto Law US. Claiming that the US already has clarity is like hearing an alcoholic say they don't have an alcohol problem. China has been extremely strategic and the US is very late to this party, said B. Garlinghouse today at Aspen Security. He further shares a video where Brad Garlinghouse talks about how China is further ahead and strategic in making its way when it comes to digital assets and cryptocurrencies. He mentions that, as Siegel said, China started out years and years ago. The U.S. is very late to this party, and the engagement we are seeing from the U.S. is not showing support or intention to give the much-needed regulatory clarity for the digital assets. He further says that the only reason the Internet of Information thrived is that the regulation was established in the late 90s. Brad says that we are currently doing the opposite of that, yet here we have this massive new industry that he believes, without question, that will underpin the future of our financial systems. But if the U.S. doesn't get ahead of this and give regulatory clarity, it's like the alcoholic who has the alcohol problem but doesn't want to admit it. If this is not addressed, the United States will continue to fall further behind. Further, we have this article. It was posted on financefeeds.com that gives us more insight into the SEC drama. The headlines, "SEC v. Ripple Turf War between SEC and CFTC illustrates a lack of clarity for XRP." Looking at this article, it says, "It seems, however, that the CFTC is now pushing back as some U.S. lawmakers and government officials hint that the SEC could get to rule over the asset class. For years, the digital asset ecosystem has complained about the lack of clarity regarding the regulatory framework for the industry. The United States Congress is finally introducing bill proposals that could clear the path for the technology and asset class." In late July, a piece of legislation has been announced by Representative Don Bayer, Democrat, Virginia. The bill has already been reviewed by attorney Thien Vu Hogan, who concluded that XRP would not be subject to the SEC supervision if the legislation were to pass. Instead, XRP would be regarded as a digital asset, not a digital asset security, which would fall under the scope of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC, according to Ms. Hogan. The proposed legislation was announced the same day SEC Chair Gary Gensler replied to Senator Elizabeth Warren's letter requesting information about the regulator's authority to regulate cryptocurrency exchanges properly and to determine if Congress needs to act to ensure that the SEC has the proper authority to close existing gaps in regulation. At the time, attorney James K. Fillen said that the move was an orchestrated power play to outflank the CFTC for control of the crypto space. Earlier this week, SEC Chair Gensler gave a speech on the role of the agency towards crypto, noting that "my views are my own, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the SEC staff." The top official said there's a lot of clarity as too many of these tokens are being offered and sold as securities. He then quoted former SEC Chairman Jay Clayton in 2018, "To the extent that digital assets, like initial coin offerings or ICOs, are securities, and I believe every ICO I have seen is a security. We have jurisdiction, and our federal securities laws apply. You see, generally, folks buying these tokens are anticipating profits. And there's a small group of entrepreneurs and technologists standing up and nurturing the projects. I believe we have a crypto market now where many tokens may be unregistered securities without required disclosures or market oversight, he added. It seems, however, that the CFTC is now pushing back as some U.S. lawmakers and government officials hint that the SEC could get to rule over the asset class. Only one U.S. regulatory agency has experience regulating markets for Bitcoin and crypto, and it is not the SEC, it is the CFTC. If the Biden administration is serious about sensible cryptocurrency regulation, it needs to nominate a CFTC chairman, said Chris Giancarlo, former CFTC chair. CFTC commissioner also commented on the growing influence of the SEC over the emergent asset class. Just so we're all clear here, the SEC has no authority over pure commodities or their trading venues, whether those commodities are wheat, gold, oil, etc., or crypto assets. Lack of regulatory clarity is a central issue in the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit, as the defendants claim there was no fair notice as to whether the sale of XRP would be considered an unregistered securities offering. Two of the 5 SEC commissioners, Hester Peirce and Elad Roisman, have come forward with a public statement admitting to the overall confusion within the cryptocurrency industry regarding rules and regulations. Ripple's fair notice defense is believed to be a threat to the SEC's future enforcement actions against the crypto ecosystem. The agency itself warned the court that a Ripple win on fair notice would nullify the Howey test. This case is about winning and making the whole crypto space succeed. If the SEC or anyone else gets hurt in the process, they brought it on themselves. But that's not the goal, said attorney James K. Filan. As U.S. lawmakers and the Biden administration accelerate critical decisions to build a solid regulatory framework for digital assets, it is possible that the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit may benefit from the upcoming clarity, which is expected to have retroactive effects. Now, as we come to the end of today's video, we have this tweet from @Ripple. It says, "Hey, devs, cheering megaphone. The first ever XRPL developer conference is September 29-30. Learn all about the Apex 2021 event that we're co-hosting with XRPLF here." Following the link they shared, we can see an article posted on the official Ripple.com website with the headline Apex 2021, the XRP Ledger Development Event. It says, "Since day one, RippleX has been dedicated to supporting the XRP Ledger, XRPL, developer community. As one contributor to the XRP Ledger's success and maintenance, our team has introduced tools, services, and programs that allow developers to more easily get started building applications and use cases that accelerate an internet of value, where value moves as easily as information does today." Continuing upon this commitment, we are excited to announce that we are hosting the first ever XRPL Developer Conference, Apex. Hosted in partnership with the XRP Ledger Foundation, Apex is a new event where developers, contributors, and thought leaders within the crypto industry come together to learn, build, share, network, and celebrate all things XRP Ledger. Why attend? Apex is a great way to get to know the XRP Ledger community and share your ideas and projects being built on the XRP Ledger. This first-of-its-kind event will showcase XRPL use cases and projects, as well as the latest features and developments. Once more, Apex will feature thought leaders on stage and virtually. Stay tuned for speaker announcements coming soon. You can look at this article and further read up about the event. With that said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the technicals. Yes, guys, now we are looking at the 3-day perspective. This is my Impulse Elliott wave count for XRP. As you can see, we are currently at the 5th wave to the upside, which can be huge. New all-time highs are nearer than you think. For the expected duration of the trade, probability, stop-loss, profit margin, entry price, and risk-to-reward ratio. The coin started this uptrend by the head and shoulders pattern. The volume is decreasing, which means that a big, explosive move is coming. Be wise and trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. Tell us what you think in the comment section below, and let's have a conversation. thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and to click on the subscribe button below and turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.